Good morning, Houston. KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. It is the day that we are watching for the potential of strong to severe storms. I want to give you a live look outside over our cameras, and the center of stage is starting to take shape. So we're seeing choppy waters, stormy conditions along the coast, a thick cloud deck, and some of those showers finally picking up the pace. They were a little bit on the slower, more scattered side for early this morning. We expected that, and the best likelihood and timing for these storms to intensify is going to be late morning through the afternoon, and we are seeing that. This is a loop of the activity on radar over the last 3 hours. Now, if I take it just to the last hour, you'll notice these storms are now becoming a bit more plentiful and having a little bit more intensity along with them as well. A couple of spots right now seeing some heavier downpours. Spring area, you're seeing those pockets of heavy rain, rainfall rates 1 to 2 inches per hour. So definitely exercise caution. Give yourself extra time and space between you and the car in front of you as you are headed to work this morning, taking the kiddos to school. Some other spots seeing some heavy downpours. Hawthorne Place there between East Tex Freeway and Little York Road. There, the pockets of those heavier oranges and deeper reds, again indicative of some blinding rain. Heavy downpour will be isolated on and off throughout the day. A couple of other smaller cells, but definitely with some intensity along Sealy right now. East Bernard, Richmond, headed towards Sugarland, Sienna, Needville. You're seeing some rain popping up for you as well. And then a cluster of more coverage will be along the coast for this morning. So Brazoria County, you're seeing some heavy rain from Lake Jackson to Mims, making its way over to Bay Harbor. I want to give you an updated look at what the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting for the biggest threat potential, that being an enhanced level 3 potential for some strong to severe storms. And it is focused now along the perimeter of the I-10 corridor, now shifted a little bit further south. So this is an update and an expansion from what we saw yesterday. Now a bigger portion of southeast Texas under that potential for heavy downpours, for damaging winds and tornadoes. That's going to be the biggest potential and threat for us today. Some scattered spin-ups. So the potential for tornadoes has been expanded now to a level 3. This encompasses portions of Walker County all the way down into Fort Bend. And this now includes all of Harris County. It includes Washington, Austin, so Brenham to Columbus. This includes Katy, Richmond, as well as Sugarland. Downtown city center. We all have to be prepared for the potential of these storms to gain severity as the morning goes on and as we head into the early afternoon as well. The highest likelihood for those storms to gain intensity right after the 10 o'clock hour until about 2 o'clock. That's when we'll have most of the ingredients in motion. This is what one of our models is showing for the potential of storms beginning at 10 o'clock. You'll notice really heavily focused along the coast. That's because that's where we have most of the moisture and fuel source in our direction. We'll start to see those storms building in potentially by the 11-12 o'clock hour. This particular model doesn't show the storms pushing into downtown. However, we are all under that threat. We all have that potential to see these storms lift. 3 o'clock, and this model is starting to show some scattered to widely scattered severe storms popping up from the Woodlands to Mont Belvieu, Katy Freeway. Basically, all of us are under that risk to see some storms gain intensity and gain severe components. So keep your guard up throughout the day. This is an all-day event. We are just getting started. I know waking up this morning, perhaps you were anticipating some heavy downpours to have already started. Do not let your guard up. This is going to be a long day that we have to watch. The main threats, again, continue to be the threat for a spin-up. Tornado threat is the highest. We could see some damaging winds gusting around 60 miles an hour in some of these isolated cells, and localized street issues very much possible with a couple of these cells gaining rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour. Now, because we have that threat for a potential tornado warning to pop up later on in the day, it's important that you have in mind what to do in preparation and in anticipation ahead of that. So if you live in a home, get to the lowest floor and find an interior space. So be that a closet or a central location within the home that's away from exterior walls and windows. You do not want to be close to the extremities of your home because you don't want to be susceptible to the first barrier in the line of defense when it comes to that strong wind potential. Away from walls and windows. Now, if you live in a high rise, the premise is the same. Get away from the exterior, find an interior area, preferably a stairwell, somewhere that has good reinforcement, and if possible, again, at the lowest portion of the building if you can get there safely. If not, just find an interior space. The potential for strong storms goes up for the late morning into the early afternoon because that's when we have the majority of the fuel source, and that's when it lines up with the low level jet, which would give that rotational component. Notice it's really favoring the west side of our cities and counties. So the west side of I-45 and really encompassing the coastline all the way into Bryan College Station, and that threat level certainly diminishes as we lose sunlight and as we lose that instability. Temperatures right now in the mid and upper 60s for most, well above where we were yesterday. So that's the instability. The moisture source coming in from those increased dew points. We were in the 30s and 40s yesterday. We're in the 60s now. So everything is in place for us to see these strong storms, and the threat for them continues throughout the day. We're going to be live on KHOU in just 2 minutes of an updated look at radar, the threat potential in case you're just tuning in. So make sure to catch us there in 2 minutes. Live updates all morning long, live on air, on YouTube, and on social media. We'll see you there.